Looksmaxxing, a once obscure online trend, is moving into the mainstream. Appealing mainly to boys and young men,
Pause. Looksmaxxing. Appealing to men and young boys. You know that stereotype, right? I go to the gym to work out to get girls, and then the reality is just a bunch of boys like you. Deconstruct centering relationships in your life and focus on growing as a person in a healthy way. Go to therapy, sure, go to the gym, do whatever you want to do. But the point is, you should be a whole person. The fact that the news is doing the same thing they did with Andrew Tate again, we always fall for it, don't we? We make loser men famous, and they know we'll do it because they know if they're sensational enough, we'll make them go viral. Same with every YouTuber girl on the internet, Gabby and Trisha and all those people. This is Clavicular. I can't even say his name right. Here he goes, being centered at the forefront of it. Here he is. He sat there and went, how to get viral, easy. How to get famous, easy. He's following a script. That's why I say getting famous is easy. You follow the script, it happens. The point is like, do you want to do this with your life?
It's an effort to maximize your looks, often taken to the extreme. The goal to achieve what Looksmaxxers call ascension, or what they consider the optimal measure of beauty.
We're operating in a society that's extremely shallow.
What is happening right there?
Consider the optimal measure of beauty.
I thought Ellen DeGeneres was banned from the internet. Is she back?
Operating in a society that's extremely shallow.
Kareem Shami is a Looksmaxxing influencer with more than 2 million followers across social media.
We're not saying go past your genetic limits and go into extreme measures, but try to optimize your lifestyle around your appearance.
So what is the ideal male face? Controversial Looksmaxxer Clavicular says he has an idea.
The most attractive man in the world, I would say that in terms of harmony percentage, it's
this guy on the left, he's a total troll. He's a total cloud chasing troll. And all these boys, because guys, the money is stupid. I will say, for the boys who are going viral, who are getting views, the money is stupid. Look, I don't get any views and I still make a full-time living doing this. Imagine if I was getting views. Imagine if I was getting views, how much money your girl would be making.
like a very objective thing. This is not really based on like an opinion of mine.
I gotta grift. I'm gonna grift. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure it out, but I'm gonna.
Would be Matt Balmer.
The actor's looks celebrated in online.
Yo, Matthew. Okay, but Matt Palmer is crazy. He's got crazy jaw, crazy face. Like he was. I mean, to be fair, all the girls and the gays love him. You know, he's a gay icon. Wait, do these boys know he's gay? Do they not know he's a homosexual? Oh my God, please. Wait, do they know he's gay? I love that. Are they like supportive of gay men?
Forums where Looksmaxxers discuss their ideal appearance, a chiseled jawline, specific facial ratios, and eyes one eye width apart. Balmer himself does not appear
I mean, they're not wrong.
to be affiliated with the movement. And while some methods are focused on skincare or facial exercises,
start with your preferred.
To be fair, women also have these bubbles. I've been in a lot of them on TikTok. They have like exercises for your cheekbones. They have exercises for like so many things, but it's not, it's less cringy. I'll say it. I feel like the girls know how to make it like self-care and like feeling beautiful, but the men always make it like Looksmaxxing. It just sounds stupid. You know what I mean? But then maybe they look at the girl stuff and they're like, that's dumb. But I look at the girl stuff, and though a lot of it needs to be deconstructed, I just feel like it's better marketing somehow. Also, the women's stuff has been around forever. And also other countries have been doing this. A lot of Asian countries, I've been looking at the male beauty standards in other countries. Like, and men in America feel stupid wearing toupees and hair pieces until recently. Men in other countries have been doing it forever. They're like, you're behind. Men in America do struggle with plastic surgery or feeling feminine or getting Botox. Men in other countries have been doing it. To be fair, I think men in America move towards a more like masculine aesthetic. Now, Matthew Balmer is not what I would call masculinely aesthetically pleasing. I would call him more like metrosexual, femme mask. Like he's muscular and he's chiseled, but he's like gay beautiful, you know? So these boys, I guess, do mimic that, to be fair. Okay, interesting. Maybe they're a little bit more woke in a sense because they're not toxic and masculine. They're not toxically masculinely pretty. They're like Do you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
Facial cleanser.
Clavicular says he went to extreme.
Like, this isn't a masculine. I mean, this is a masculine type of masculinity. It is masculine, but it's not like farmer masculine. It's a different. It's not Joe Rogan.
Extreme measures to achieve his desired looks.
I've done like a lot of things like fat dissolvers. Like I've injected lipolysis agents into my face. Was a big one. And bone smashing.
And he's not alone. Bone smashing has become
I don't think they're doing it. Or if they are doing it, they're so silly. Like, that's so silly. Like, come on.
increasingly popular.
Do you guys know about bone smashing?
People taking massage guns or even hammers to the face.
Smash them.
Don't piss me off today.
Balls, baby!
All to cause minor damage to the bone underneath in hopes that it will heal in a more pronounced way.
You're basically throwing the dice and hoping that it goes back the way you want it to, but you have no idea how your bones are going to rejoin.
Okay, chat says Clavicular, whatever, is really doing it. But yeah, chat says also poor people's plastic surgery. Just get plastic surgery. But see how they won't? Is getting plastic surgery more feminine than hitting yourself in the face with a hammer? Is that why they're hitting themselves in the face with a hammer? It just doesn't make sense.
We have no idea what the long-term implications are.
Experts say it's about more than just vanity.
In your research, have you found a negative mental health impact from...
You guys are like, it's cheaper. Are you serious? Is it cheaper? Like, I mean, is it cheaper in the long run, though? I don't know if it's cheaper. I don't know if I believe that. Because, like, is it cheaper? Are you actually getting the results you want? What about the healing process? What if you cause permanent damage? I don't know if it's worth the risks.
Involved in this community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's a lot more negative mental health ramifications. They're developing body issues that they didn't have when they first entered the community. And they're seeing their...
Well, body eating disorders and body dysmorphia way up in boys. It's way up in guys. We used to think of anorexia as a girl problem, but it's actually up in boys because of social media. Boys are just as susceptible to social media. Obviously, that's why gambling is up. It's why Andrew Tate and bullshit like that is up.
Their body is fundamentally a very flawed and imperfect thing that is going to ruin their lives.
And Looksmaxxing.
Chat said if it works, it'll make them money in the long run, which is true. I've made a video on this. People were kind of upset about it. But I think, I come from a very different perspective, hopefully a more deconstructed one, which is like, yeah, your looks can absolutely correlate to money and a lot of things in your life. People do treat people better when they're prettier, and all of us do it. You say you don't, but you do because your brain is moving faster than your brain can think. You have to catch yourself. It's like saying you're biased or prejudiced. Your brain is automatically biased towards pretty people. And you don't have free will in this regard. You only have the free will, if you can, to meditate and deconstruct in real time the realization that you're making this bias decision. So or this prejudiced thought is coming to your mind. So I don't blame them for thinking this. And I do agree we should deconstruct some of this. And I think there's a lot of layers to it because I also think people get to live and look how they want, right? So I do believe in gender affirming care. And I do believe in, your ability to get plastic surgery because you really want it. And I always tell my friends that are struggling, if my friend comes to me and says like, oh my God, they keep going back and forth over a nose job, I just say, stop. I want you to get a nose job when you're like very excited about it, the way you were when you bought your house or bought a car. Okay, I want you to be as excited and proud to buy your dream car as you are to buy your dream nose. If you are going back and forth about, oh, should I buy this car? Should I not buy this car? It's not the car for you. Okay, should I buy this house? Should I not buy this house? Stop, don't buy it. Should I date this guy? Should I not date this guy? Don't. If you are this anxiety ridden, if you are this looping on this thing, don't do it. Just wait until you really want it. Until it's really what you want. And maybe that day never comes, and that's okay too. And in that case, you have to start really accepting like whatever it is that you haven't accepted, right?
Is popular in online forums that often perpetuate dangerous concepts like misogyny, nationalism, even racism.
Race absolutely influences how these men are judging attractiveness. So every man of color is recommended to improve his attractiveness by making himself appear more white.
But despite the controversy, the industry surrounding Looksmaxxing is growing, with websites dedicated to selling supplements and products.
If you were talking to a parent of a 16-year-old who's worried about this.
Supplements is such a boy bubble too. It's so interesting, which is why the word supplement gets such a bad rap. I realized when I was going plant-based and people were like, oh my God, are you going to get a supplement? That's pseudoscience. Supplements are fucking real, guys. Not all supplements work, but supplements are real. You can take iron supplements. So we're also associating faux supplements, like fake, basically, things that won't make a difference, with things that actually make a difference in your life. Please take your B12 supplement if you're a vegan. You know what I mean? Like, they're not understanding like supplements are real. So like that's what happens, right? So Liver King, I did a review of him for Level 2 members. And he said that most of his money is coming from his supplements that he's selling. Now, again, do the supplements do something? Well, look at the science. Are they doing something? Because some are doing something. Okay.
Trend. What would you tell them?
Putting in the emphasis that they deserve to be loved no matter how they look, I think, is probably the most important thing.
Stephen Rumbo joins us in studio. Steve, I have two questions for you. Is this sort of a fringe online trend, or is this becoming more and more popular?
Yeah, certainly started off very fringe and has been around for a few years now. But
actually, wait, you know who just got their own protein powder? Ballerina Farm. She's pregnant with her 9th child, and she just announced her new protein line. Example, conservatives love it. And I do too. I have vegan protein in my kitchen right now, girl. Okay. I have supplements in my medicine cabinet right now, girl. Except I know exactly why I'm taking them. But remember, this is the difference between me as a content creator and a brand. A brand, if I had a brand, like if I had a brand, then I would absolutely have an item to sell you. I would have something to give you, but I'm not there yet. And I also don't want to sell you things unnecessarily. You have to remember, these content creators, they're not content creators first. They are brands first. They are trying to make money. That is their first priority. I am trying to make good content first. And I'm trying to build a philosophy framework, right? So again, I obviously chose, I'm comparing it because we're in the same industry, but we're doing different things. So you have to be cautious about, okay, is this guy, should I buy this brand because my fave is telling me to buy it? Or should I buy it because it's a good product? And that's what I would encourage all consumers to do. The problem is consumers, they take shortcuts, which I understand, and they go, well, my favorite recommended it, so it must be good. Like Dr. Kirk Honda and a lot of people recommend BetterHelp still, but like I ignore that. I think he's wrong for taking that particular sponsorship deal. And I think he should do better research into BetterHelp, because even though they've done reform, every person I know who's ever used it said it not only sucks ass, but it's really not good. It's still not good. So I'm disappointed that some of my faves take BetterHelp or use it, but I would just say, like, you know, that's why, you know, again, take your sponsorships if you want to take it, but don't take it, don't do it, don't pay it just because your favorite is recommending it.
But some influencers like Clavicular have gone viral with some of these clips and has really brought this into the mainstream, specifically bone smashing, which we mentioned in this piece, people hitting their face with a hammer. It sounds pretty silly, but when you hear some of the more extreme things that they're going to, taking testosterone, which can mess up their fertility later in life, all of these things seem very short-sighted. Something we've worried about a lot for young women is their body image issues, but now really it seems like we need to worry about young men as well.
People, especially young men, trying to look their best. I mean, this has been around for decades, right? What's different now? Is it the social media aspect of it, and it's just going to extremes?
Chad said, is BetterHelp better than nothing? Dang, that would be a good title. No, I don't think so. Bad therapy is never worth it. Unless you're the kind of brain that works from making mistakes. If you learn from your mistakes, then some therapy is better than no therapy. But I just think it's a waste of your money. You might as well just go look for a local therapist in your area, vet them yourself, and pay them. Therapy is too expensive for you to use BetterHelp when we know it just overall isn't good.
Because of social media?
Yeah, it really seems like it. An expert we talked to for this piece was saying that it's really the online community of Looksmaxxing. They have their own terminology, their own language in a way, and they have their own rating scale for rating each other's faces. It really is.
Am I stupid? Doesn't Looksmaxxing also completely overlap with the trans community, like the ones on 4chan and stuff? Are those two? I know they're two different bubbles, but isn't there an overlap? Didn't we do a video on this like a few months ago? Like the trans community and Looksmaxxing, and like, aren't they related?
Their own subculture that they've created. It's not just trying.
Shout out to my trans brothers and sisters. We love you.
To look your best. It goes beyond that in a way with a bit of their own cultural spin.
You know what I'm going to start? Newsmaxing. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Newsmaxing. Ha. Okay, Chet says kind of. Yeah, I guess. Did we? I think we covered trans. The terrifying world of Looksmaxxing, incel obsessed turned check. Let's see. I read 472 studies on increasing physical beauty, what the female gaze really sees. Okay, yeah, I'm not really finding an exact one. Maybe I just mistook the two bubbles. But I'm sure there's some level of thinking, because I remember we did a video where they were thinking being feminine in a girl would get you more social credit. What was that called? You know, I will just say, look, at the end of the day, I really wish we would give men who are making content for men would give boys different options than playing into patriarchy. Until men who are these primary information spaces for young boys give guys different options, we will repeat patterns. Oh, wasn't it transmaxing? Oh, it might have been transmaxing instead of looksmaxing. Oh, that sounds good, chat. Thank you. I think that is right. I think you're right, right? So again, anytime we are thinking about ways, again, life is not a game, but it is a story, and we are living history. And so like you can, whatever language you need to make your life good, you can call it a game, you can not call it a game, but you know, it's a game without any resets. It's an old school Nintendo game. There are 3 lives and then you're dead, or in some cases 1 life and you're dead. Game over. So instead of trying to trick everybody and scam everybody and misuse everybody, just instead do philosophical work, ground yourself, do therapy, meditate, understand yourself. What are you doing on the planet? Zoom out. You're on a floating rock in space. Zoom in. You're a person in your neighborhood, right? Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Instead of jumping on a trend or jumping on a new, instead of spending all your money on supplements, spend your money on some supplements and focus on spending the rest on your education or an apartment or a job or a relocation or a relationship. Like you can save your money. You can do so much with your limited time on earth other than what I just don't think this is worth your investment. But you do you, because that is your life. Like that's the question is like, when you're 50, are you going to look back on your life and think like, oh yeah, this is who I wanted to be? And if it is, right? We can't stop you. But if you have so much free will that you are slamming a hammer into your face, I don't know, maybe use that for absolutely anything else, right? And I get it because you probably think, well, women get plastic surgery or men get plastic surgery. What's the difference? Sometimes there isn't a difference and sometimes there is. Okay, it's like gym culture. There's toxic gym culture and healthy gym culture. Which one are you a part of? Okay? Because the idea behind transmaxing is that you'll be more successful, more attractive, and treated better if you present as a different gender, like presenting as a woman versus feminine male. Yeah, that's the thing is like, I do think there is a larger conversation to have about the way people treat you and making sure that the way people treat you doesn't override your desire to be authentic or who you are. So for me, I understand as a person who's my face is on display, my body's on display. I'm being judged for everything. I'm being judged for my room. I'm being judged for the chair I'm in. Every single thing that people are seeing of me, I am judged by the way I look. I have to also decide how I feel about that, how I think of myself. And, there are definitely things that I do at my own pace. That's how I think of it. So as an example, there are things about the way that I look that I would ideally like to change, but unless it's in the budget, I'm not doing it. Versus some people might say, but if you change these things, you'll make more money, which could be true. And if I could get a guarantee, if I could make a bet, because I'm not a gambling kind of girly, but if I could bet that I would have an 85% chance of guarantee like monetization change, I might just do it now versus later because I want to do it anyways. Versus Brittany, am basically willing to do nothing that I wouldn't be willing to do anyways for my job, give or take a few details, like having a schedule. I'm willing to have a schedule, even though ideally I wouldn't have one. I'm willing to have it to be a better streamer, but that's different. There are just things we have to do whether we like it or not. So that's called being an adult and growing up. But there are things you do not need, okay, that you think you've convinced yourself you need. Like you do not need a Bugatti. You do not need a house with an ocean view. You do not need abs. You do not need a lot of things. But it is true that certain industries really tempt you. Example, in the gym bubble, gym influencers tell you that abs are like, if you have abs, guarantee viewership. Because abs are so rare on people, it is so rare to have abs that if you have them, you will blow up. And what people do is the influencers know they can't have abs year round. So what they do is they take thousands of videos, pictures, and then they post it throughout their off season because they're like, keeping up with this physique is impossible. But for the few that do it, 1 or 2 people that claim to do it 24/7, they're not the regular. So most people have to kind of like fib a bit. And then the audience gets into their head that, oh my God, you have abs year round. But it's like, no. So I get it. As somebody who's on this journey, I'm trying to get abs right now. If I can even have visible abs in the way that I think, because not everyone has the same visible abs. And I'm on that journey for funsies right now. And let me tell you, girls, I fully plan to end this journey once I get it. I'm just doing it for funsies. Because, one time on earth, it would be kind of fun to have like really great ab photos. And then I'm just going to like move on because I'm not trying to keep my body fat percentage that low. You know what I mean? It's too low. And maybe I won't get there, but I'm going to try. And so far, so good. I'm 2 months into this journey and I'm finally seeing progress. 2 months. 2 months. I started late December and it's February and I'm finally seeing results. Is that 2 months? You know what I mean? I'm finally seeing results. So and I'm still far away from my main result. I think I'm still 8 months probably or a year away from where I really want to be. And then when I'm there, I'm going to get over it. But see how I know that? See how I know I'm going to get over it? Other people would literally dedicate themselves and run themselves into an eating disorder just to get abs. And I'm saying no abs is worth an eating disorder. I'm not going to do that to myself. Not that you did it to yourself, but I'm not going to put my body and my brain in temptation's way to say, I'm going to convince myself this is just justification for an eating disorder or anything else. Like, I don't want to do that. It's not worth an eating disorder. So if the only way I can get abs is an eating disorder, I'm not going to do it. If the only way I can become a top streamer is to sell out and harm marginalized communities in order to get to the top, I'm not going to do it. Right? And that's what you have to ask yourself. What am I willing to do to meet my goals? And if I'm not willing to do it, change your goals.